Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We're going to talk about Dollar General. We're going to talk about stock price tanking after it gave its earnings results, after it gave forward guidance, and what it means for the US consumer. We are heading into an epic collapse of both consumer confidence and equities. But here's the thing. We have not seen this kind of data come out as far as a crash at the same time as we see inflation that's rearing its head for what now, year and a half, 2 years. We have seen the Fed do very little. I know it sounds crazy, and I say very little because of when they started. They wanted this to happen. When they came out in, what was it, December of 2021, and they said, yep, inflation's gotten out of control. We went way past our mandate. We're going to do something about it in about 4 months. That proved the fact that they wanted this inflation to take off. Why? They could have started right away and just started raising rates. Hey, we've got the data. And back in that September, remember I did about a year prior to that, I did a video on lumber prices. They're exploding. Well, don't worry, they're going to tank. Why? Because the futures were going to tank because people were going to stop investing in lumber because the prices had gotten too out of control. But by then, I said when they tank, it's going to be because people are freaking out about the price of fuel, gasoline, electricity, and food. The Federal Reserve did not want to get on top of that, all right? So at the same time that we are seeing all of this data coming out where the consumer is completely tapped, auto sales are just going to nothing, home sales going to nothing, we are seeing earnings forward guidance from companies like the dollar store, Dollar General. Think about this. The store that attracts the lowest income people, which would mean there's more people with lower incomes than there are with higher incomes in this country. You would think that they would be doing great. They're now having massive problems with theft. Let's just dive right in. This story is out of Zero Hedge. It's entitled Earnings Outlook Slashed, Dollar General Plunges on Missed Earnings. Outlook Slashed, a warning sign the consumer cracks. Dollar General Corp shares plummeted in New York pre-market trading following a weaker than expected second quarter earnings report. The discount retailer faces its first annual decline and has lowered its profit forecast for the second quarter in a row amid softer sales trends. Troubles at Dollar General mirrors challenges faced by other retail businesses, pointing to the potential cracking of low to mid-tier consumers. Now you have to think, when Dollar General is coming out with abysmal earnings and horrible forward guidance, the companies, the retailers that are selling to mid-level or higher tier consumers, they're freaking out going, oh my gosh, it's not just us. That means the whole thing's falling apart. And they're in desperate modes to try and recover their business. How many businesses do you think right now are not only failing because they have less consumers coming in the doors buying their goods or services, but they're also failing because they are not able to obtain cheap financing like they were before a couple of years ago, and they are freaking out. Remember, most companies rely on debt to survive. It is a vicious cycle. So few businesses are out there right now that had the intent on paying off their building so that you do not have that overhead. My grandfather had a hardware store all of his life. His number one goal was to pay off his building. He said, once you pay off your building, everything else comes easy. You could experiment a lot with your business techniques, your sales techniques, when you're not freaking out over having certain overhead. When it's gone, it's gone. Check this out. The discount retailer posted earnings of $2.13 a share on revenue of $9.8 billion. Analysts surveyed by FactSheet forecasted $2.47 a share on sales of $9.9 billion. So their margins are getting squeezed. Same store sales declined 0.1%, while analysts were expecting a 0.9% rise. So they're actually expecting a rise because more people are leaving stores like Target, Walmart for basic everyday goods, and they're expecting them to go to Dollar General. And here, Dollar General went from what they thought was going to be positive to a negative number. But this was driven, they said, by a slowdown in consumer traffic. This gross profit rate decrease was primarily attributable to lower inventory markups and increased shrink, markdowns, and inventory damages, as well as a greater proportion of sales coming from the consumables category, which generally has a lower gross profit rate than the product categories. Again, people are not going into the dollar store to buy stuff to throw a party anymore. They are going to the dollar store to buy consumables, things that you need, that you have to survive on. This is an incredible sign for you to know that yes, we're not going into a soft landing, we're going to auger in. And so you want to be getting ready now. You see, the general public has not figured this out because the mainstream media is out there lying to them over and over. The economy's strong, the economy's strong. If you want to hear that kind of crap, just get on your president's, not your president, I didn't vote for him, Twitter feed. Go check out Jeff Borgen's Twitter feed, and all he's doing is touting all the great things he's doing, like being able to walk up the stairs without falling, and all of the great things for the economy. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, Bidenomics is not working. It's total crap. As a matter of fact, if you agree, type 1 below. If you think it's great, don't even type 2, just leave the channel. I mean, I am here to talk to intelligent people. And propaganda, the propaganda machine is wide open right now. And they know that if they say the same thing over and over and you hear it enough, you'll start to believe it. Well, I don't believe it at all. We ain't coming in for a gentle landing. I know all those big CEOs are selling off stock right now. They're all taking care of themselves. And my job is to go and warn the everyday person we need to get the wealth into our hands and not have it raped from us because we're believing all their crap. This exact same thing happened in 2006, 2007. Even Ben Bernanke in 2005 came out and said that he fixed the mortgage-backed security crisis. Well, how did that work out for you in 2008? Let me know below. Jim Cramer telling you to buy bank stocks, how much a great deal they were in the beginning of spring. Weeks before, literally weeks before they started collapsing. You need to do the opposite of what Jim Cramer does. But hey, he's a financial advisor. He can tell you what to do. I'm not. I'm just a dude with a brohawk and a dream. And that dream is waking up the middle class to grab onto the wealth during this wealth transfer. It should not go to the banks, but that is what they want. Sorry, I digress, but sometimes you just got to call it out. Says CEO Jeff Owen, we're talking about the Dollar General stores, right? Stock's tanking. He wrote, while we are not satisfied with our overall financial results, we made significant progress in the second quarter, improving execution in our supply chain and our stores, as well as reducing our inventory growth rate and further strengthening our price position. Do you know what that actually means? Let me tell you right now. Please don't sell our stock. If you sell our stock, we're screwed. Because if there's more people selling because we're losing money, when all else fails, you think, oh, dollar stores, all these cheap retailers, they're going to be great because all the poor people are going to be rushing into there to buy our stuff, and we can't even execute on our plan. Please don't sell our stock. We're going to be screwed. That's exactly what he's doing. And trust me, these are very, very kindly thought out phrases, very planned. Hey, did you guys know that Warren Buffett's selling stock? He's going to cash. Why do you think that is? Type 3 if you think Warren Buffett knows that there's a crash coming and he wants to stock up cash to be able to buy stocks lower. Type 4 if you think, nah, this is just normal. He just does this normally. I'm just curious what you think. The retailer slashed its fiscal 2023 outlook as it takes certain actions to accelerate the pace of its inventory reduction efforts and making additional investments in targeted areas. Yeah, let's talk about that. Inventory reduction efforts. I'm pretty sure there'll be a day where they'll have to unlock the door to let you in and then unlock it again to let you out to make sure that you don't steal anything. Or they're going to be like Home Depot and start putting everything up in cages. And if you want yourself, a bottle of milk that's, this big because it keeps shrinking down because of shrinkflation and it still costs $1, score, you're going to have to go and ask somebody to come and, scan their RFID chip, their retinal scanner, and then open up the thing so you can have a gallon of milk or, a cup of milk that's being charged as like it was a gallon a couple years ago. Sorry, I digress. Anybody that doesn't think that the market is tanking has very poor situational awareness. Trying to choose my words carefully. says here, what's alarming about the softer sales trends in Dollar General, for those of you that just jumped on, what's alarming about the softer sales trends comment from the retailer is that 40% of its customer base earns less than $40,000 a year. Think about that. This clearly indicates that no matter how much the White House tries to spin the best economy ever, Bidenomics is failing the working poor. So true. So true. Let me ask you this. Are you excited for the possibility that someone else is coming back into the presidency? Oh, did I say coming back? Whoa. What? How many people think that somebody's coming back? Type 10, because that's excellence. No. Actually, no. Heck with that. Type 11, because 11's louder, if you get my point. Sales headwinds are being reported at many U.S. retailers. We outline this in a note titling, Do Plunging Retail Stocks Signal the U.S. Consumer is Finally Done? Our short answer is most likely. With the COVID helicopter cash evaporating, personal savings drained, insurmountable credit card debt, and the lack of financial safety nets, the average consumer in the Biden era has been crushed after 2 years of negative real wages. And that is true. Wages have not gone up enough to stay at the level or ahead of inflation. We're all losing money. How cool is that? I'm so stoked. That's sarcasm. None of this should be a surprise after this morning's plunge in the savings rate. And that's good. That's good to know. Because think about this. Think about this. This right here, the start, this is the savings rate. This was in, stand by, January of 2019. And then COVID. Everyone got checks and boom, savings rate exploded. Then it came tanking down, but then it jumped up again. Now that date's really important because that's around January of 2021. That's when people started to figure out things weren't looking so good. Inflation was going on, people stopped spending money, and they started saving again. But as inflation got worse, it's not looking good. It's no bueno. And if you overlaid this with a credit card chart, average balances, they're exploding the upside. This is insanity. But the good news is, if you're ready for this, you're going to take advantage. If you believe the government that we're going to have a soft landing, it's going to be so soft, it's going to be like a bed of pillows. Well, then, I don't know what to do with you. I just want to hang out with smart people. But hey, if you agree, we're auguring in and you're getting ready, you're going to have the greatest time of your life. I'm not joking. Generational wealth will be made, but it takes patience, perseverance, and a clear head. And I'll tell you what, clear heads aren't so common around these places anymore. And I should know I live in California. All right, with that being said, everyone that lives in California that agrees with me, give me a thumbs up. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I do love California because I love the weather, hate the politics, but most of my subscribers are from here. There are a lot of really smart people. We just aren't very loud, but I think that's about to change. All right, with that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.